Hello students, and welcome to the next lesson in our AS level psychology course. Today we're going to be looking at the strange situation. What was the strange situation? The strange situation was an experiment that was conducted by Ainsworth and Bell. They aimed to see how children would behave towards certain strangers under controlled conditions in a room. This would follow the absence of the mother leaving the room, leaving the baby and the stranger alone together. They wanted to see if the attachment type influenced it, because they believed that you could measure attachments by seeing how the child would react when the mother is left and they had to behave differently with the stranger. So what was the actual situation? The experiment took place in a room that was filled with toys. The experimenters would look from a window looking into the room to see how the baby reacted with the strangers and the mothers. Firstly, the mother and the child would enter the room alone. They were the only two ones inside there, and they would play in the room with the toys. Then, a stranger would enter the room. The next step was for the mother to leave the room. Now the baby and the stranger are alone together. The stranger would then encourage the child to play. The mother then enters the room after the child has been encouraged to play and tries to settle it, because the baby gets discomforted once the mother leaves and is alone with the stranger. Then the stranger leaves and the mother leaves again, making the baby stay alone once she's been settled or he's been settled in the room. After that, the baby is left alone and gets distressed again. The stranger can return and then approach the child in the room again in step 7, which will then stress the child even more. The final step is for the mother to return and get the child to try and settle him or her down once more. So what do they find out from the experiment? Well, the infants reacted to the departure and the return of the mother in different ways. They were labelled with different attachment types based on their reaction to the mother entering and leaving. They came up with 3 main attachment types. Today there's 4 because we have type D, but that's not required in the specification, or it wasn't part of the findings in the study. So, the 3 types of attachment was an insecure avoidant attachment, which was type A, a secure attachment, labelled as type B, and an insecure resistant attachment, which was labelled as type C. The insecure avoidant attachment had the baby show little exploration when in the room, and show little distress if separated from the mother. When the mother would return, the insecure avoidant child would avoid the mother when she tried to settle him. 25% of all the children tested were insecure avoidant. Secure attachment was labelled as type B, and this had the child explore the environment and show a lot of distress if separated from the mother. However, it would greet the mother warmly when it returned, unlike that of type A. Also, it was quite friendly with the stranger. The vast majority of children were labelled as type B, and this was 60% of them. The insecure resistant children were anxious when they were exploring and showed much distress if separated and left alone. They were unsure whether to approach the mother upon her return. 15% of all children were labelled as type C. The evaluation. It's easily replicable to conduct this strange situation again, because it follows standardised procedure. It's quite easy to follow those 8 steps. It requires subjective evaluation, however. So when you're trying to rate what type of attachment the baby could be, different people could argue that the baby could have different characteristics to make it a different type of attachment. So as a result, it's difficult to conduct the study many times and try and classify children the same, because there can be inter-observer reliability. The children can also change attachment type over time, so it's not reliable to predict them to be the same attachment type for their whole life. Also, it's only measured relationships with the mother. The father may have been the primary caregiver and the mother may have been working, so you don't know if the baby did even form an attachment with the mother at all. And finally, it only tested American mothers and children, so it's difficult to generalize this to the whole population of the world. Here are some questions on the strange situation. What I'd like you to do now is have a go at attempting these on a separate sheet of paper by pausing the video. Then hit play whenever you're ready to see the answers. Here are the answers. If you got these right, congratulations. I'd advise you to move on to the next video, which will be on the development of attachments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, comment down below and check out this lesson's notes in the description. I'll see you next time.